Welcome to Larry the Alchemist, where we discuss all things heavy metal and hard rock. On today's episode, let's rank the Led Zeppelin catalog. Led Zeppelin, legendary band, hugely influential on hard rock and heavy metal. I've said on this channel that I was of the age where, as much as I was into Iron Maiden and Judas Priest in the 80s metal stuff, I was very much into the late 60s, 70s hard rock like Jethro Tull, Led Zeppelin, the Doors, the Beatles, the Stones, the Who, stuff like that. The Kinks, I was listening to all that stuff also. So Led Zeppelin, a big part of my musical youth. John Bonham is my favorite hard rock drummer. Jimmy Page's guitar solo in Dazed and Confused on The Song Remains the Same is probably my favorite guitar spotlight of all time. Takes you on this amazing journey. So it's not easy to rank these records. I'm going to be doing more discography rankings, and I'll say that it's tricky when you do these because how do you rank these? Do you rank them with how you feel today, factoring in a burnout factor, especially with a band like Led Zeppelin where there's a lot of songs that got played like crazy on classic rock radio? I'm going with how I felt about Led Zeppelin, the influence and impact of these records on my musical journey. All right, how important these particular records are. So I'm not factoring in burnout factor at all. I'm kind of imagining how these records have affected me over the years, especially in my early years of discovering hard rock and metal. All right, let's get into it. 9 albums. Number 9 is, feel a little bad putting it here, Coda. Comes out after John Bonham dies, and it's basically leftovers and outtakes. Coda is a musical term for something tagged on to the end of a piece of music. And that's what this record is. It's very brief, 32 minutes. So it is what it is, but there is some cool stuff on here. We're Gonna Groove. I do like Ozone Baby is pretty cool. I don't like Bonzo's Montreux. He's my favorite drummer, but I don't like that electronic sounding thing in there. I Can't Quit You, Babe. I don't like these long, slow blues type things. So it's okay, but there's just a lot of stuff that you kind of understand why it didn't land or make it up on the studio records. All right, number 8, In Through the Outdoor, would land low on people's lists because of the keyboards, and I understand. A lot of people feel this is the John Paul Jones, Robert Plant record. Page and Bonham dealing with addiction issues at this time. And there are a lot of keyboards on here, but it does work. Like in Keller Solomber, I love that. It sounds like a progressive, like Genesis type tune. Other times it doesn't work for me, like in Southbound Suarez. Don't like the feel of that song. In the Evening is awesome. Full in the Rain, love the drum pattern in that song. Don't really like Hot Dog, kind of goofy. All My Love and I'm Gonna Crawl, especially I'm Gonna Crawl. I don't like that one. It's too draggy. So that's what puts that one at number 8 for me. Number 7, kind of feel bad putting this one here. And I feel bad putting it here because of the mighty Achilles' Last Stand. One of my favorite Zeppelin songs, one of their heaviest songs. If I had a top 10 Led Zeppelin songs, this would probably be in the top 5. But there's songs on here that Hot's On for Nowhere and T for One, like that just kind of don't totally get off the ground for me. But For Your Life is another one that drags a little bit, but Nobody's Fault But Mine is awesome. Candy Store Rock is pretty cool. So Achilles' Last Stand pulls this one over In Through the Outdoor for me. Okay, 9, 8, 7, we are on 6. 6 for me is going to be 2. This would probably be higher on a lot of people's lists. And, you know, for me, I think it's because there's too many slow ones on here for me. Although they kind of work, like Thank You is really nice, and What Is and What Should Never Be. But then like the Lemon Song, I think is kind of boring again. I don't like when Led Zeppelin does just like straight up blues things. I like Moby Dick, John Bonham. In my opinion, Moby Dick, one of the best like studio drum solo songs out there. Bring It On Home is really cool. Whole Lot of Love is great, and it's a classic. Heartbreaker, I love Heartbreaker, really heavy. But there's just, I don't know, it just doesn't beat out the albums that I have coming up after it here. And let's see, 9, 8, 7, 6. We are on 5. 5 for me is going to be Led Zeppelin 3. Really, from this point out, we're talking 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 with these albums. Love the Immigrant Song. Celebration Day is awesome. Out on the Tiles is awesome. The last two songs on the record, Braun Why or Stomp, hats off to Roy Harper. Those kind of don't work for me, which knocks this record down on the list a little bit. Since I've Been Loving You Again, I kind of don't like these draggy blues type things, but this one's kind of okay because it's got kind of a minor blues feel to it that I do like. Friends is pretty cool, if I haven't mentioned that. Tangerine, I guess, is also nice, but it lands at number 98765 for me. We are on number 4. Now, number 4 for me is going to be the first album, and so there's a lot of really cool stuff on here. Good Times, Bad Times, Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, Your Time Is Gonna Come. I really like that. I love Black Mountain Side, How Many More Times. Communication Breakdown is great, super heavy for its time. Martin Popoff and I did a video about this album. Is it the most complete debut album from like the 60s and the 70s? I'll try to remember to link that down below. But You Shook Me and I Can't Quit You, Babe drag this record down for me, especially You Shook Me. You Shook Me is a real kind of slow, draggy blues number. Dazed Confused. I love Dazed and Confused. So even though You Shook Me and I Can't Quit You, Babe, the other songs are so strong, it knocks it up to there for me. All right, we're in the top 3. Number 3 for me is going to be Physical Graffiti, and double album. The Almighty Kashmir, that's right up there with Stargazers, one of the greatest hard rock, like epic songs of all time. Custard Pie is great. I like The Rover. House of the Holy, Trampled Underfoot, In the Light, 10 Years Gone, Night Flight, the Wanton Song. There are some things that kind of don't work for me. I'm not a fan of In My Time of Dying. I wish that was farther in on the record. It's too long, drags too much for me, 11 minutes long. That's just too much for me. Stuff like Boogie with Stu is kind of forgettable. Black Country Woman, though, is pretty cool. So overall, really strong record, double album, an album that over the years I've grown to really, really love. But it comes in at number 3 because at number 2 is Houses of the Holy. Love the production on this. Lots of great stuff on here. The song remains the same. Over the Hills and Far Away, The Crunge. Dancing Days, Dire Maker, No Quarter, love No Quarter, love the mood and feeling No Quarter. The Rain Song, I like that, but it's a little long. It drags a little bit, gotta be in the mood for it. But still, this is a strong record. The Ocean, love this album, so it comes in at number 2 for me. Only fault I might find is the Rain Song and a little bit of Dire Maker. Number 1, I wasn't going to put this up here because, again, there's a burnout factor involved, but I'm not considering that. I'm really thinking about the influence of this album on me, my hard rock life, and this is just an amazing record. This record has a vibe, a mood to it. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure if it's the mystique around this record, you know, back in the day in the 80s, there's backwards masking on it. And what's going on here? What is it? It's untitled, for Zoso, what do you call it? These, you know, the symbols, just the whole, like, the whole vibe to the whole thing, the picture on the inside, just the whole packaging, the feel of the songs on here, stuff like The Battle of Evermore, Four Sticks, Going to California, great hard rockers like Black Dog, Rock and Roll, Misty Mountain Hop, When the Levee Breaks, and then of course the epic Stairway to Heaven. Yeah, we've all probably heard it too many times, but it's a song that I don't turn off when it comes on the radio. One of the greatest guitar solos of all time, one of the best written hard rock songs of all time. So this album, there's just something special about this album. The production, the feel, the vibe, everything about it. I absolutely love this. I had to put it at number 1. Okay, there you go. My ranking of the Led Zeppelin discography. Not easy to do because there's so many great albums, and there really are no bad albums in their catalog. So let me know what you think of my ranking. How would you rank them? Let me know down below. Till we see you again, make sure you rock hard, ride free.